man. Time to get it done this morning. Start wiping stuff down. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Staining. Oh, it's just a knot. Okay. Thought I had a bad spot in this wood, but it's just a tiny knot. That's fine. What's everybody up to this morning? Pretty early for a Saturday, huh? The good news is I think today is going to be my last, possibly my last Saturday staining. We'll see. I think I'm going to start doing it on Friday afternoons, but Friday staining doesn't quite have the same ring to it though, right? Off. Nope, not coming off, so that's good for tongue oil. Woot, woot. Morning, everybody. Clean my hands off real quick and we'll get started. Hey, what's up, soccer boy? Welcome. What's up, everybody? What are y'all doing up so early on a Saturday? We got some yawara to oil up. I've got the limited edition steak design for 2026 for my shop. Just finished the first one. I liked the design, so I'm gonna start making more of them. Those will probably start being listed sometime in February. I haven't decided quite yet. I usually wait until a little closer to Halloween, but some people have said that it takes them a while to find it and all that stuff, so I think I'm gonna start doing it earlier this year. I'm good, soccer boy. Oh, you get ready for soccer? that tracks, considering your username there. That makes sense. Get ready for soccer, huh? Why do they always seem to do soccer so early in the mornings? Why is that? All right. And after we finish the steak, we got a practice spear we're gonna work on. I got some Komaru daggers. I got the spear shaft, and we got a boken to do. Then we're gonna stain up this primitive knife, this primitive coffee nut knife, and we are going to burn up, blowtorch, burn and distress these Buffy the Vampire Slayer replica steaks. First, we got these canary pocket yawara to get done this morning. If you guys got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. My Saturday staining lives are usually pretty short. All I'm doing really is just oiling and staining the projects from this week. And then my more fun live is Sunday mornings at 7:30 a.m. That's when I do all the finishing work on all this stuff, and you get to see what it all looks like finished as I finish them. Be right back. For those of you who are new, just a heads up, I'll be popping back and forth behind this curtain behind me to put this stuff in my drying room. But these are yawara. These are used in karate and some Japanese martial arts as an extension of your fist. You have a cord that goes in these holes here. Your middle fingers go in between the cord, or go inside the cord, and you've got this nifty little palm stick. And I've got some bigger ones out of white ash here. This white ash, unfortunately, as you can see, it had cross grain, so I couldn't really use it for boken, which is what I had bought it for. But can't really use it for that with that kind of grain configuration. It's just not going to be strong enough. And all the boken and wasters in my shop are guaranteed, so if it's not going to hold up, oh, I think we might be out of tung oil, ladies and gentlemen. That's all right, I got another one. But all of my boken and wasters in my shop that I make are guaranteed not to break under normal use, so if the grain configuration is not right, I don't use it. But it's fine for small stuff like this. And some of these white ash ones have they have kind of an interesting grain pattern. I'm not sure why, but it looks cool. And tomorrow I'll be cording up these yawara and doing handle wraps on a lot of stuff. The daggers and the spear shaft there will get corded up tomorrow. But if you like the old school traditional 8-inch yawara, these ash ones are pretty nice. And the white ash, I don't get it very often. Unfortunately, here in the States, the white ash, or ash trees in general, have been really messed up by this invasive species, the emerald ash borer. It's a bug that has eaten up a lot of the ash forest here in the U.S., so I try my best. Actually, no, I don't just try my best. I only buy ash if it's from a vendor who's ethically harvesting this stuff, because otherwise we're not going to have any ash wood left. Oof. All right, let me toss this and get a new towel. We're going to do these daggers and the stake. So every year in my shop, I do a series of stakes that are limited edition. I only make that particular combination of design and wood type one time, and I never make it again. This is my stake for 2026. This thing's freaking awesome. It's Ipe wood, also known as ironwood. It's got a bellied handle, little pommel on the end. It's got a conical tip. I based the tip design off of a Pahoa dagger, which is a Polynesian design, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's also a very strong design. Hey, thanks, Dragon Boy. I appreciate that. But this year, I'll probably be making about 10 to 15 of these. Each one comes with a certificate, so you know how many were made and which one you got in the series. So it'll be like WWP 2026-01 through 015, you know. And yeah, that's gonna look cool as shit. We're gonna make a whole bunch more of these, probably, well, not a whole bunch. We're gonna make about 10 to 15, and then once they sell, that's it. I don't make that stake ever again. I might make the same design with a different wood. I might use the same wood with a different design, but I will never make this combination of this wood and this design ever again, except for that particular series. And this is a spearhead for a practice spear I'm working on. This, I think, is this? Yeah, this is Kummeru wood. Really strong stuff. It's right up there with Ipe. It's got a Jenka hardness. Actually, it's stronger than Ipe. It's got a Jenka hardness of 3,200 to 3,700 pound force. This stuff can take a real beating. That's why it can be that thin and still be used for a practice spear tip. All right, this one up. And I've got these functional daggers. Ever made knife handles? I mean, no. I've made knife scales before for people to use, but I don't really work with metal that much, so I don't really do knife handles. I do just the handles on my own stuff, but that's about it. Cesar, this is well, what I was just working on. What was I working on? That was my practice spearhead, and before that, I was doing the limited edition stake, Vampire Hunter stake for 2026 for my shop. And then these are Kummeru wood daggers. They have a sharp tip, bladed edge. And this is the first time I've ever made daggers out of this. I'm gonna impact test these, I'm not entirely sure how functional these are. They're very thin. However, this Kummeru wood is also probably one of the strongest woods in the world. So let's see if they will hold up or not. We're gonna find out later this week. But a lot of people are like, oh, wood daggers, right? You wouldn't think wood daggers would work as well. They don't work as well for the cutty, but they work just as fine for the stabby. The blade edge on a wooden dagger or a wooden weapon is mostly to aid in the stabbing part and also hitting skin with that edge. It won't cut the skin, but it will split the skin. All right. And now we're going to do See if I got any tongue oil left in here. A little bit. We got a boken here. This is an entire boken I made out of Kumaru wood. I call these the Unbreakable boken. They are already available on my eBay shop. You can find the link in my bio. These are insanely strong boken. They are also heavy. They are about as close to true sword weight as you can find for a boken. They are also guaranteed for up to 5 years. If you buy one of these and it breaks on you within 5 years under normal use, I will replace it free of charge. You don't have to return the old one. All you got to do is send me a photo and tell me how it broke so I can figure that out, because it shouldn't have broke. But this stuff is awesome, but I will replace it. If it breaks under normal use, I will replace it. Highly recommend these Unbreakable boken. If you're looking for something you can buy once and you're not going to have to buy another boken for a very, very long time, these are awesome. These are straight edge. They work for ninjutsu, kenjutsu, aikido, and just about any sword form they use as a straight edge sword. All right, that can is tanked. Open this new can. So I stained the shaft for that practice spear last week, but you really have to wait and let the stain completely dry and cure before you put tongue oil over it. Otherwise, it just won't work. It won't penetrate the wood. The oil in the stain will keep the tongue oil from penetrating. So you got to make sure you wait until that wood is completely dry and that stain has totally cured. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more tongue oil on this cloth. The other thing is, if you don't wait until the stain is completely cured, you can already tell it takes some of the tongue oil takes off some of the stain, which is fine. It's not a big deal on this one, but if you just stain something and it hasn't really had at least like 3 or 4 days to cure, you run the risk of the tongue oil taking all the stain off of your wood, and really lightening it up too much. So it's important. Make sure you wait at least 3 days. I waited a week on this one just to make sure that it's all good. All right. Let me put this up. Is that all my tongue oil stuff? I think so. All right. Let me wipe out this catch-all real quick. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. I've just got a few more things left to do here. Although they're a little more, the next couple things I got to do are a little more time consuming. Make sure that's shut. Just get this out of the way. And then I got this, I've made one other primitive knife. It was more of an angular design. It was a double-sided one out of this coffee nut. That one I just tongue oiled. This one I'm thinking I'm going to stain this one just to see. Buddy of mine says coffee nut looks really good with stains, so we're going to stain this, see what it looks like. Gotta make sure my hands are a little dry. I think they are. Yeah, they're dry enough. Pro tip, always make sure you mix your stain before you use it, because it will definitely separate. I don't recommend shaking it. A lot of people will just grab their can and shake it. When you shake it, you're putting bubbles in it, and those bubbles can sometimes make their way onto your wood, and then it causes weird little spots, weird little circles in your wood where you stained it. So it's always better to just stir it, get a popsicle stick, or just a piece of wood, something that you can throw away. Make sure you stir it up. I'm going to use a honey stain on this because I guess lighter stains seem to work best on coffee nut. We're going to find out. Oh, geez. My mat here on the ground came loose. Almost took me out. That would have been fun. You guys would have seen me just fall off to the side and smack my head against the wall. That would have been a good time. Not what I want to be known for, as the guy that smashed his head against the wall on YouTube. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think that honey stain was the way to go. Feel like that's good. That's going to make the blade edges pop a little better. Woot woot. Not bad. So this will sell as either a primitive dagger, or will sell as a primitive dagger, and as a vampire hunter short sword / knife. Because technically it could work as either. Like if a vampire hunter carried this, it would absolutely work as a wooden stake. And it also works as a cool primitive knife design. This is not based on anything historical. It's just a kind of a knife design I put together for it. It's just a basic knife design with a angled tip. All right, there we go. Almost done, you guys. But anyway, if you are new or if you're old, either one, as I said, this is next week. Staining is probably not going to be on Saturday. It's going to be on Friday afternoon. We're going to give that a shot, see how it works. Most of the time, I've got all my projects finished by Friday afternoon. So I'm just coming in on Saturday mornings to do the staining, and it doesn't really make sense. I might as well just do it on Friday. But also I have horrible ADHD, and I have a really hard time getting up in the mornings if I don't have a reason to get up. So I'm worried I won't be getting up and getting my ass moving on Saturdays if I do that. But we're going to see. We're going to give it a shot next weekend and see how it is. Next weekend, Saturday's Valentine's Day, so I figure probably best for me to use Friday for staining, then have Saturday with my girl and all that jazz. Let me grab a hammer real quick. This is an older can, and they don't quite like to shut sometimes. I don't want it drying out. There we go. Moving right along. And then I've already made one set of these. These are Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie poster replica stakes. I sell them in pairs. Mostly because it's a fairly cheap wood, and I think it's nice to have two of them. It's not bad wood. It's good wood. It's just this is just reclaimed wood from a job site. I think it's just yellow pine, but looks cool, and it matches the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie poster. And when I'm talking about that, I don't mean like the Joss Whedon Buffy. I'm talking about the original 1990s Christy Swanson. I keep looking this way because I have a poster of it over here on the wall. But the original Christy Swanson movie with Christy Swanson, Luke Perry, and Donald Sutherland. Absolutely great film, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it is hilarious. It does not take itself seriously at all. That's kind of the main difference between, I think, the series and the movie. The movie was far more tongue-in-cheek and far more humorous than the series. The series took itself a little more seriously. All right, let's see if I can do this without setting myself on fire. And this is probably my last project for this week. After this, I've got to prime these. I've got a pair of prop daggers. I got to spray with primer. And I'm doing a custom baseball bat right now for a client. And it's going to get its first coat of this, I think it's just plum. I can't remember. Yeah, this is plum. It's going to get this. Then it's going to get a diamond pattern of this lavender purple. Took me a really long time. They wanted very specific colors because it's a Kuromi themed bat. It took me forever to find these shades of plum and lavender. And I don't even, this company, Montana cans, I've never even bought their stuff before. So hopefully it works because I can't even find any of that through like Rust-Oleum or I couldn't find any of it through Rust-Oleum or any of the other, was it Krylon? Couldn't find those colors for those two anywhere. All right. This always makes me a little nervous. Pray for me. Woot woot. You want to make sure you don't set the wood on fire, guys. That's important. You want to just give it a nice little tan there. Just brown it up. Make sure you keep that flame moving. There we go. Now look at that, I got it done and didn't set myself on fire, guys. It's always good when you don't set yourself on fire. Anytime you use a blowtorch, rule number one, don't set yourself on fire. It's always important. Feel like they should put that on here. Please do not set yourself on fire. But there we go. Now we got a set of Buffy Vampire Slayer movie replica stakes. These will go, I've already got a set up for sale. These will just go back into the inventory so that I have more stakes for sale than just the one set. All right, you guys. Anybody got any questions for me this morning? I can show you guys a few things I'm working on right now. Let me put this up. Some of the projects I've got going on, this one's not super interesting, but not yet anyway. But this, after we get done on the live here, I've got to paint this bat with the lighter plum color. We're gonna give that its first coat of plum. It'll get a couple coats of plum. Then I'm gonna tape it all the way around in both directions at an angle so that it has a diamond pattern that goes all across. And then I will go over that with this lavender purple. At least that's the plan. We're gonna see. And then it's gonna get a crown of barbed wire, like the Negan bat, like Lucille. And the barbed wire will get painted black before it goes on. And once it's on, I will paint each individual barb with gold paint. Then it will get a purple velvet, or suede, not velvet, suede. You get a purple suede handle wrap, hopefully. I bought some purple suede that I'm going to try to wrap the handle with. That's what the customer wants. We're going to see. But anyway, so that's coming soon. But it's going to get its first coat of paint after I finish this live. So I might as well leave it right here. And then, unfortunately, I've got another custom order that's kind of on hold right now. I started this. This is a Indian War Club made out of rosewood. It's pretty awesome. It's a gunstock style club, but it's got this counter weight on the end, which I've never seen. This is a custom order. The customer requested this, and it's really nice because even though the head is so wide and heavy, this counterweight makes it super balanced. Like it's very easy to wield, even though it's so big, because of that counterweight. But I've got to cut some teeth into the top here, and then there's a knife blade that's going to get embedded here. But my bandsaw broke, so I can't. So if I can't get my bandsaw fixed by like next week, I'm going to have to hand saw these teeth in. That is going to be a bitch, because I don't know if you've ever worked with Hawaiian rosewood, but it is very strong stuff. It is very hard. It's probably very, very hard wood. It almost feels like stone when you work with it. So that's going to be a pain in the butt. The Noggin Buster 3000. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Welcome. Yeah, Noggin Buster 3000, exactly. But that's going to be awesome. And it's going to have a Green River style knife blade embedded here. But first, I got to get these stupid teeth cut out over here. I got 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. They got to get cut out. So hoping I can get this done by the end of February. But right now, it's not looking good because I got to get that saw blade. And I honestly, if I try to cut these teeth in by hand with a handsaw, because it has to be a sharp angle, the detail on that is going to be so hard. It'll be hard to keep it straight. It's going to be hard to do. I'm going to have to do one tooth at a time. It's probably going to take me an hour to do each tooth if I do it by hand, which I don't want to do. And then at some point, I've got another client who wants a custom vampire stake design with like a checkerboard pattern, which I've never done checkerboard. So we're going to see if that works. Oh, like the Aztec weapon? Yeah, I don't make the ones with obsidian. I do have a couple other. You want to see some other war clubs that I got? I've got a few. Let me go grab a couple. I'll show you. And unfortunately, these particular clubs are not up on my shop because eBay says I'm not allowed to sell them. I'm not quite sure why. But this is a similar club to what you're talking about. This is a Tongan design, though. The difference between the Tongan and the Native American design, for the most part, is the handle. That has a handle kind of grooved in instead of it just being a straight taper all the way down. But this one's Ipe. Really, really nice. This is a Cherokee design and a Tassi war club. Sometimes you see blades in these, but very rarely. And this one's got a flared handle. But this is a Polynesian one. This is a shark tooth one. It's got tiger shark teeth in the front. It's rosewood. It's got the taper, which they all do. Almost all war clubs have that taper from the center to the ends because you want a smaller striking surface to increase the amount of force. Oh, Irish shillelagh. I made a custom shillelagh years ago for a guy. He sent me the blackthorn. He had got blackthorn from a family member in Ireland and sent it over here to him, and then he sent it to me so that I could make a shillelagh for him. It was really cool. Those that Irish stick fighting is pretty awesome stuff. Yeah, tiger shark teeth. They're pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this one. Unfortunately, I hate it. At eBay, they will only allow you to sell these kinds of native war clubs, whether it's Polynesian or Cherokee or Apache or Native American, doesn't matter. If A, it comes from a reservation, or B, you are of a tribe that makes that. I am neither. So eBay says I can't sell them because I guess they're not technically considered replica, or they're considered replicas and not antiques. I'm not sure why that matters. Half the antiques on eBay aren't really antiques anyway. Most of it is stuff somebody made and then lied and said it was an antique, which I don't like doing. I don't like being dishonest. So, but if you're ever interested in a war club, feel free to hit me up on YouTube or hit me up on, go to one of my listings on eBay, send me a message. If you're interested in a war club, I'm also natrbrown37@gmail, natrbrown37@gmail. Shoot me an email over there if you want one of these, or I'm also natrbrown37 on Instagram. You can go find me over there. If you're interested in a war club, let me know, because I can't sell these on eBay, so I don't know. They're just sitting around. Let me go put these up, and then we're going to call it a day, my peeps. Yeah, eBay's kind of been a minefield lately as far as there's a lot of things they say are allowed and things they say aren't allowed, but there's a lot of, their rules seem pretty cut and dry, but when you go to follow them, they tell you you're breaking them, and it doesn't make any sense. None of my weapons that I sell on eBay are listed as weapons that are not allowed, so I'm not quite sure why I keep having issues, but I do. Well, you guys, let's see how long we've been on. Yeah, about time for me to call it a day. I gotta go do adult stuff. I gotta go, and not the fun kind of adult stuff either. I gotta go grocery shopping and all that kind of jazz. But I will be on tomorrow morning on YouTube. I will also be going live on TikTok tomorrow morning at the same time. It's my first time going live on TikTok as well, so we'll see how that works out. But I'll be live on YouTube and TikTok tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. For Sunday finishing work. We're going to get all this stuff finished up. That's it for me, y'all. I'm out. Thank everybody. Have a great Saturday. Thank you for hanging out with me. As always, link to the shop's in my bio. Warrior Wood and Props. We're on eBay. Do not go to warriorwoodandprops.com. It is not functional right now because Shopify sucks, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, eBay, all the links to my eBay shop and all that stuff is in my bio. I'm out, you guys. Have a good day.